next psychologist is Albert Bandura. His concept is self as proactive and agentic. He is a Stanford Binet psychologist and a Canadian psychologist as well. So he views people as agents or originators of experience, not just reactive. He suggests that humans have the ability to act and make things happen. Albert Bandura also proposed the social cognitive theory. He believed that behavioral modification is possible. It is because we have a free will. Hindi lang tayo daw basta-basta na nagre-react sa ating experiences. But we are the originators of the experience because humans have the ability to act and make things happen. To support his claim, he suggested 4 agentic perspectives. Number 1 is intentionality. So what is intentionality? This enables us to behave with a purpose. For example, nag-wave ka sa crush mo. So there is a purpose. Nagpaparamdam ka. Di ba? Hi crush. Ganon. So you have a purpose of doing that. Next is forethought. Forethought allows us to anticipate outcomes. We anticipate outcomes based on our observation. For example, yung clouds or yung langit parang makulimlim or madilim. So, isipin mo, baka uulan nito mamaya. So, magdadala ka ng payong. We observe. Na-observe natin na parang madilim yung langit. So, yung isipin natin, magdadala ako ng payong or ng jacket or ng sombrero. Diba? We have a capacity to anticipate those outcomes. Next is self-reactiveness. We can be motivated to regulate our action. We can react to certain situations and be motivated to regulate our reactions. For example, dito is napansin mo na parang tumataba ka na. So, yun yung reaction mo, ay tumataba na ako. So, we regulate our reaction by doing a diet. Next, number 4 is self-reflectiveness. We can reflect our thought and behaviors and make needed modification. We humans are capable in reflecting our actions. Sabi nga nila, experience daw is a best teacher. But for Albert Bandura, and also ako, naniniwala din ako sa kanya na yung reflection is the best teacher. So, aanhin mo yung experience na yon kung hindi mo naman ma-apply o hindi ka naman nag-reflect sa mga actions mo. Did you get that? It is our reflection that is the best teacher. Albert Bandura gave importance on social learning or learning through observation. Next, there are 4 steps in observational learning and modeling process. So, first is attention, retention, motor reproduction, and motivation. Attention. In order to learn, you need to be paying attention. So, para maka-learn daw, dapat nag-pay attention. Next, anything that distracts your attention is going to have a negative effects on observational learning. So, you have to focus. If the model is interesting, or there is a novel aspect of the situation, you are far more likely to dedicate your full attention to learning. So, kapag interesado ka, mas nagfo-focus ka or nagbibigay ka ng attention. After your attention has been caught, you have also to retain those information that you have learned. The ability to store information is also an important part of learning process. In here, you have to retain the information that you have learned. Retention can be affected by a number of factors, but the ability to pull up information later and act on it, it is a vital to observational learning. Anin mo yung information kung nakalimutan mo naman pala. Next is the motor reproduction. Once you have paid attention to the model and retained the info, it is time to actually perform the behavior you observe. Further practice of learned behavior leads to improvement and skill advancement. So in here, motor reproduction is actually the performing the behavior. You have to perform the behavior that you observe, which is vital to observational learning. In here, practice makes perfect. For example is TikTokeristic ka. 'Di ba? Hindi mo naman 'yan makukuha agad-agad yung isang dance step kapag hindi ka nag-practice. So, kailangan mo i-practice ng 10 times or 100 times yung moves bago mo ma-perfect yung dance move na yon. Kapag ako nagti-TikTok, ilang beses ko yan muna practice bago ako ma-perfect. Kaso, parang hindi naman perfect kasi ang katawan ko ang tigas, charot. Next is motivation. In order for observational learning to be successful, you have to be motivated to imitate the behavior that has been modeled. Dito, dapat gustuhin mong gawin yung performance na yon or yung task. You have to be motivated. Okay? So, dito na pumapasok ang rewards and punishment. Reinforcement and punishment play an important role in motivation. So, for example, yung isang bata, gagawin lang yung assignment niya if meron siyang candy sa uli or star. Diba? Yan. You have to have a reinforcement and also punish them if they have a mistake. Next is Carl Jung. So, self as the central archetype. What is archetypes? So, it is the universal inborn models of people, behaviors, or personalities that play a role in influencing human behavior. According to Carl Jung, he believed that everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. He believed that the self is the central archetypes of our personalities. And he was also able to identify major archetypes of personalities. These are the 5 archetypes: the persona, shadow, anima, animus, and the self. First is the persona. One's public personality or masks one's social role. Persona in Latin means mask. Persona represents all the different social masks we wear among various groups or situation. For example, when you're with your friend, you are a jolly person. When you're with your boyfriend, you are a sweet and caring person. When you're with your enemy, you are masamang tao ka. You wear a mask, a different mask on a different basis or your different social roles. With different sets of people and situation, we wear a different kinds of mask. Next is the shadow or one's dark side, parts of ourselves that we dislike. Your shadow is the things that we don't want or like about ourselves. For example, you want to cheat but you know na mali. So, that part of you is you dislike. Next is the anima and the animus. So, anima is the female archetype or the feminine side, while the animus is the male archetype or the masculine side. This anima and animus represents the true self rather than the image we represent to others. This anima is for the boys, while animus is for the girls. Napansin nyo yung mga lalaki, parang feminine siya gumalaw, parang girl, pero totoong lalaki sila, 'di ba? Yun. Dito naman sa animus, parang boyish siyang gumalaw, pero totoo silang babae. Kasi meron tayong masculine side and feminine side. Okay? Yan yung animus and anima. Next is self. It is the central archetype of personality. It represents the wholeness. So, dito, pinagsama na yung 4 na to, yung persona, shadow, animus, and anima. Next, aside from that 5, there are other archetypes. So, the first one is the father or authority figures turned powerful. Next is the mother figure or nurturing, comforting. Child, longing for innocence, rebirth, and salvation. Whilst old man, guidance, knowledge, and wisdom. The hero, champion, defender, and rescuer. The maiden, innocence, desire, and purity. And the trickster is deceiver, liar, and troublemaker. Okay, that will be the end of our discussion for lesson 3. I hope you learned something.